Hey everybody, time for another lesson. What I want to do today for you is frack tanks. And right now we've got a couple frack tanks behind me here. Let me step out here so you can kind of see where we're at. There's two frack tanks here. And what I wanted to show you on these frack tanks, a couple things. First of all, we have the butterfly valves that we hook up that we've looked at in the classroom. This is one of those butterfly valves. You pull this open. This piece right here, okay, this plug that's right here. Sorry, my camera works a little bad today. This is called a bull plug, okay? This is screwed in here so that they can fill this up and everything will stay inside the tank, even with the valve closed. You always want to have a little bit of extra something to protect yourself. This right here, okay, is a hatch. Now, you're saying, well, Mr. Parsons, that's brilliant, man. It's a hatch. Yeah, it's a hatch, but one of the things I've talked about, remember we talked about putting the bolts on in a star pattern, okay? Same thing with this. I was on a well pad one time where they didn't do that. They just went in a circle, okay? And actually, the guys that were putting the hatches back on did this one, then they did these two, then they went to these two, and then they did the one on the bottom, because I'm going to show you there's a hatch that's on the side of these. When we started flowing back, all of a sudden fluid is pouring out of the bottom of this hatch right here, or actually the hatch that was on the side. So what we had to do was unscrew the hatch even more to loosen up the other latches so that we can retighten it while it's filling up. And of course, you know who got stuck doing that one? Me! Okay, by the way, this is the hatch I was talking about right there. That's a hatch in the back. Now, one thing you'll notice about this, obviously, these are towed to the site. There's the back axle right there. The ground clearance on these when they're towing them isn't very much. And what they do to tow them is, if you look right here, okay, they'll actually get a winch, hook it up to this bar across here. They pull it up, and they actually pull it up on top of the semi that's hauling it. And that's the pivot point right there. Right there, yep. That's the pivot point. And there's the air brakes that get hooked up and electrical stuff. And so this gets towed to the well pad. Now, when they get put in place, obviously, if you got a muddy well pad, you're not going to move these very easily. They used to push them with bulldozers. Well, they still do, but they've got to be a little nicer to them because these guys would get the bulldozers, you'd start ramming them together, and then bad things would happen. By the way, when I was doing this, when we would go from one tank to another, these two tanks would be put together side by side with about probably 6 inches between them. We used to just walk from tank to tank to tank across the top. You can't do that today. You have to wear a safety harness like we wear when we go up the rig. Okay? Can't do that stuff like that anymore. The Wild West days are done. Thank you, OSHA. Right here, this is a pump. Okay, I'm going to come out a little bit here and see if we can't get a better shot of this. This is a pump. It's going to hook to the back of these tanks. And this is a transfer pump. Now, this is not one that you would use to get the water from, let's say, Shenango Creek up to the well pad. This is something you're going to use to move from frack tank to frack tank, or from the frack tank to a truck. It's not, now they used to use them for that, but now there's much more powerful, much better setups for that than there was before. So, but yeah, here's another one. And look, there's our sign. Confined space, hazardous atmosphere. One of the things is, when you bring back frack fluid, you're going to get condensate. And sometimes you don't want to send little Timmy inside there to get, hey, Timmy, go clean the tank out, and there's condensate in there. It's going to be a bad day for everybody all the way around. So, but yeah, I just wanted to show you the frack tanks and a little bit more about them. They're, I always said we'd love to have one of these, but I don't know what we'd do with it if we got one. It's It's sort of like getting that toy at Christmas time. You're like, oh, I can't wait to get it. And you get it and you realize it's not that exciting. But yeah, it's a tank. You can go inside. That's about it. I'm not going inside there. You can me crawl through that tiny little hole. Don't think so. That's why I have you people. So, all right, enough of this lesson. Hey, hope everybody's staying safe. Everybody's staying healthy. Again, if you have any problems, email me. And until next time, toodles.